All right, congratulations. We're listening to Dennis Prager.
If a pregnant woman, the mother, wants to give birth to that baby, and a criminal comes along, shoots her during a holdup, and kills the baby, he is in fact prosecuted for homicide, the murder of a human being. That means that if she wants the baby is fully human. If she doesn't want the baby isn't worth a pretzel. I'm not being cute. It isn't worth a pretzel. It's like a growth, a pimple. You don't have to believe in God. I'm not even referring to God or religion here to understand that just doesn't make moral sense.
So it does make moral sense. And this is like a common talking point a lot of conservatives will bring up, and yeah, it doesn't make sense. So here's the situation. Like, Dennis is assuming that by we're talking about the same fetus in both situations. That he's assuming that the trait of wanting the wanting to have the kid doesn't change any characteristics about the child, which is simply isn't true, right? So, if I'm just some cruel person who likes to throw baseballs at kids' faces, right? When I'm throwing the baseball, if the kid is moving, when I'm throwing the baseball, I'm not throwing the baseball at the face. I'm throwing the baseball in front of the face. That way, the time of the kid walking or running, and the time of the baseball going eventually lines up, right? So I'm not throwing the baseball at the kid's face. I'm throwing the baseball in front of its face. Now if we assume that the kid's not walking in that direction, or running in that direction, and we throw the baseball in the same area, the characteristics of that change completely, because in one case, you're harming the future kid that will be there, right? And in the other case, even though you're throwing the baseball in the exact same spot, if the kid's not walking in that direction, you're just throwing a baseball at nothing. And I see that pretty analogous towards the trait of wanting to have the child, right? In like a practical sense, right? So it's like, why is it wrong to drink? Why is it wrong to drink when you're pregnant? It's like, well, because once that child's born, all the effects of that alcohol is going to really affect the child's well-being. But if you're like, 3 weeks pregnant, 4 weeks pregnant, and you're having an abortion the next day, drink all you want. Like, who cares? Because you're not harming the kid that's walking in front of the baseball. You know that the kid's not going to be walking in front of the baseball, so it's the same as throwing it in that same direction when you know that the kid's not going to be there. So the big difference between shooting, like harming a fetus, versus harming a fetus that the mother wants, is that you're not harming the fetus at that point, right? The harm comes in the future. So the wanting of the fetus is actually a significant factor, and not so much because of the mother and her desires, and that plays a part, but what her desires entail for the fetus. Yeah.